being perfect, is not about that scoreboard out there. It's not about winning. It's about you and your relationship to yourself and your family and your friends.
All right, welcome back to the C.O.C. City of the Champions podcast, and we are back. Your favorite hosts, Danny Boylax and Talar. Talar, how's it going? How you been?
Good. How you been?
I'm doing great. A lot of sports talk in the next hour. Let's get right into it. It is the week of Thanksgiving, and we're ready to roll. Lots going on, especially with the Celtics. Your Celtics. Let's start off with the Boston Celtics. What are they? 15-2 now. They are 15-2 now. They're on a roll, and I'm amped. I am amped.
And I am so happy that you're amped because basketball is not really your thing. So.
No, I've been paying attention a lot.
Yeah,
it's great. It is great.
Easy to pay attention to this team.
Yeah,
it is.
Even with Gordon Hayward out, this team has a lot of potential. It's a young team, but Bruce Cassidy is, doing a great job with these.
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens.
Wrong team.
Why am I doing that? Bruce Cassidy is Bruins. We'll get into that. Brad Stevens is, doing a tremendous job with this team. Young team, a lot. Tatum's doing great as a rookie. He's doing, phenomenal, impressing me. I don't know. So I could rant on forever, but let's see how you feel about what's been happening so far. They recently played Houston Rockets.
Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks. I didn't watch that game, but I did watch the Golden State game Thursday night.
I don't even know where to begin with these guys. It's November, so just like with any sport, you kind of have to temper expectations a bit. But at the same time, coaching has a lot to do with what's going on right now. You have the star power in Horford, in Kyrie. Jaylen Brown has been unbelievable. Jason Tatum has surpassed anybody's expectations. But it all comes down to your coach, and if your coach can put it together, and he's shown he can, he's really doing a good job. And I think that, maybe in the playoffs they get beat by a LeBron just because the experience will win. I don't know. But, my goodness, they're going to be fun all year to watch.
I agree with you 100%. They're just going to be unbelievable this whole season. Even if they lose that streak, I knock on wood that they don't, because they're on a roll right now. But LeBron James has the experience, been around for quite some time, and he's like you said, maybe the last episode we talked, he's the Tom Brady of basketball. But I'll be honest, he's no Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they'll prove us wrong. Maybe LeBron James is he wants to leave this team after the season. So maybe it's that time where it's going to be a quiet season for LeBron James.
Well, you say quiet season, but so LeBron is playing the most minutes in the NBA. He's almost at 40 a game. And if I'm a Cleveland fan, that should be concerning. But at the same time, he does it all the time. He does it every year. LeBron is in his 30s at this point. And I get it. He's this indestructible human. No one can get in the way of LeBron, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you have a guy who every single game is playing that many minutes and has to play like a superhuman to get your team to win a game against the Knicks, okay, then there's something really wrong with your basketball team. Take him away. I said it on my show. Take LeBron away. What is impressive about this team? Nothing impresses me about this team if LeBron's not in there. I'm telling you, this is honestly how I feel.
You think it's just a one-man team there?
It is a one-man team. Get out of here. It's just, Isaiah Thomas is going to come back, and he's really good. We know what he can do before his hip injury. But after his hip injury, we don't know what he's going to look like. He's still 5'9", which means on defense he's a liability for you. Jay Crowder, Brad Stevens made him look a lot better than he really is. Dwayne Wade is 35 years old with bad knees. Derrick Rose is already injured. I told you he was going to be injured. He's been injured like twice already. They're too old. There's too many injuries that are going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if, but it's still LeBron, so you have to give him a benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, everyone thinks he's not a human. He's just a basketball freak. Mm-hmm. But he plays an important role to Cleveland. He's, like we said, numerous times. He's the star. He's the coach. He's the GM. He could also be the owner if he wanted to, probably. But, like we said, this could be his last season at Cleveland. Where do you think? Do you have any predictions where he might end up?
So everyone keeps saying L.A. He's not going to L.A. Let's just put that to rest. If I was him, I'd go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia has these two rookies, has Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, who are playing out of this world. I'm not even kidding. I saw Joel Embiid destroy the Lakers the other night. 47 points. I don't even, double digits in, almost all the categories. The dude is a freak.
So you think this would be a good line for him to be on?
I think if he goes to Philly, they have a shot. I'm not even kidding. Those two guys are so good. I think the East is easier.
Do you think it would be better when LeBron was in Miami? There was the three, LeBron James. Who else was it? Wade
and Bosh.
Yeah. You think it will be better than those three?
No, because those guys had more experience, and Dwayne Wade he's a Hall of Famer type guy. And these guys are only playing their first year. But from what I've seen, I mean, I don't see why you don't go down there. And you're in the East, so it's still easier. You go down there and you try to help those guys win. Philly they're crazy fans, but they're fans. They're sports fans. They're not down like in Miami where they show up halfway through a game. Philly fans are going to be there. I think that would be a lot of fun. I just don't like the fact that it would get in the way of the Celtics because that's in their division at that point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that for as far as just a neutral fan, that would be fun to watch.
It would. Even just for, not Cleveland fans, but LeBron James fans. I remember we discussed that there's, fans that are just, Kyrie Irving fans, LeBron James fans, Steph Curry fans. There's not, in today's generation, there's not a lot of true, Boston Celtics fans. There's not, not our generation, but the young stage generation. They're not true Cleveland fans, true Golden State. They're following their players.
Exactly.
But that could be a great matchup and probably be a tough team to beat in the 2018-2019 season. So moving on, what are your thoughts on? I pointed out two key players, Kyrie Irving and rookie Jason Tatum. What do you think of these guys so far without our Gordon Hayward?
So it kind of really makes me really upset to see how well this team is doing and know that Gordon Hayward isn't a part of it because, I not upset, but, you almost kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, man, if he was healthy, imagine how they could be undefeated right now if he was healthy. They almost won those first two games.
They did.
But Kyrie Irving is having a really good year in crunch time. He has 55 points and no turnovers in 30 fourth quarter minutes, if I'm correct. So he's having a great time when the game's down to the wire. He's having a great game. But he hasn't even really scratched the surface of what he's going to be. He's not shooting as well as he did last year. So people concerned about his offense. offense will come, he's playing really good defense, which is really encouraging because when your superstar plays good defense, everyone else wants to play good defense, which I think has been a big part of why they're so much better this year defensively, along with the fact that they're not short anymore, they're really long. Jaylen Brown is your 2 guard, and he's like 6'6", 6'7". Avery Bradley was like 6'2", 6'3". So you go from Isaiah Thomas 5'9" to Kyrie Irving was 6'3". Like, you just added so much length. Jason Tatum is huge.
Yeah, you had so much height compared.
He's so long. Like, there's so much more that you have a lot of length. Jason Tatum, out of the 3 rookies, 1, 2, 3 chosen this past year's draft, he's the best. I mean, I know you have the whole Lonzo Ball train.
Yeah.
Until you stop shooting from your hip and shoot like a normal human being, it's so overhyped. I can't, and it's possible he's gonna turn into someone like a really good player. It's only the first year.
I'm just sick with the Alonzo Ball.
I don't like. He looks like and this is his personality. Like, he doesn't show emotion, but every time he's playing on the court, it looks like he doesn't want to be there. And I can never get excited for a guy who just doesn't show any emotion. Like, Tom Brady is out there, like, banging helmets.
Yeah, he's like, let's go.
It's so fun to get hyped for a guy like that.
Even, like, in the third quarter, he's just like, let's go. Come on. Let's get our shit together.
Exactly. And you don't want to, like, it's so... And Darren Williams was the same way last year. It's just kind of like... They look like they go through the movements, that they don't kind of want to be there. They'd rather be anywhere else.
Like, it's like, the 9-to-5er.
Yeah, like, it's like, all right, I'm going to punch in, do my work, and punch out, and then I'm going to go do what I actually want to do. It doesn't make the product fun.
No.
Like, Jason Tatum shows emotion. I haven't seen Markelle Fultz because he's been out.
No, it's funny how you say Jason Tatum and a couple of rookies show emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was nervous about, these rookie players coming into the season. Like, you never know what you expect from these guys. Like, you sign a contract and they're making tons of money. Sometimes I feel like once that contract's, like, signed, not all players, a lot of players show the dedication. But, like I said, like, before the season started, it could get into their head and, like, just like we said, like we were talking about, punch in and punch out. That's what I don't want to see in rookies, because that's your future team.
Exactly. You never want to see that. You never want to see the guy who's like, oh, I made it, I'm going to settle now. I'm not going to try to be better. I'm just going to, I'm going to remain the same.
No, you should be fighting to the moon. You should be going.
Exactly.
You should be
working harder so that your next contract is even more lucrative.
Yeah.
And so that you mean something to this team. Because in your age of social media, it's not like people write about you in the paper and that's all the criticism you get. You get so much more criticism because of Twitter and, Instagram and everything, but especially Twitter, which is harsh.
If I was like a manager or a president or anything, my rookies that I signed or drafted, the first, I would say, how long that contract is, I would say your first couple of seasons, you're not allowed to have an Instagram, you're not allowed to have a Twitter. But that's just me, so it doesn't get into their heads with the bad media.
Well, I don't know if you can't really say you're not allowed to have social media. You can put restrictions, like Gronk has a restriction of you can't have beer anymore or something like that. They put that in his contract.
Maybe like limited, like during your NBA season, you should stay away from Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
They do have people who, like, some players, I don't think all players do, but like who handle their social media for them.
I wouldn't want my play if I was a coach, a manager, or whatever. I wouldn't want my players to get that. What the media is doing is getting into what the media is saying on the computer or on the newspaper or whatever, wherever it is. I wouldn't want them to get that in their head that they're lousy, that they, they're not like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I watch tons of videos, like come Super Bowl, like Sunday with the Patriots. Like Brady used to be like this, skinny, lean guy, and like wasn't good enough. you just gotta let that go. Like you gotta ignore it. But that would be my concern, personally.
I think that these guys have also, remember, these guys are younger than us, right?
Yeah.
So they've grown up with the tech fully. Like, we grew up when we were like in the middle where it wasn't really, you go outside and play, you didn't really have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So these guys have grown up their whole entire lives with all of these
I think
things.
I got Instagram when I was someone showed me Instagram when I was in college. I was like, what is that? And
Yeah.
then I was like,
I did too. I mean, it wasn't something that we knew about, but now these 12-year-olds have Instagrams, So like these guys have grown up with social media, and it comes to a point where maybe they should know how to handle themselves.
that
better than
too.
maybe
Yeah,
we would.
maybe manage it.
Exactly, because they're so much more used to it.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum, to come back to him, seems like a kid who has a level head. He's a mama's boy, which is great. I love that. I think that's adorable. But he is this level-headed kid who he'll have a bad game, but in the fourth quarter, he just is not rattled at all. Like he's so composed, and he'll just get to the rim. And in the Warriors game, he did this little spin move at the end of the game to get a layup.
That game was awesome.
Oh my goodness, Jaylen Brown was unbelievable that game, and
I couldn't believe the fourth quarter. That was just an unbelievable game.
They did, and you know what? Neither team shot great. But
I wasn't impressed by Steph Curry.
No, so there's something I want to touch upon real quick here, where everyone was like, "Oh, Steph and Clay had a bad game." They did. They won't miss wide open shots, but at the same
they're
time,
human.
Yeah,
take it easy.
Exactly, and it's November. Let's calm down a little bit. But at the same time,
I love Steph.
We're Curry fans.
Yeah,
so
I love Curry.
Yeah.
I hope Curry makes it big. But I do not want another Golden State Cleveland championship.
Ugh,
but
no thanks. But the Celtics defense, which is number 1 in the league, yeah, you're wide open. But when you're so used to guys rushing at you, in your head you feel rushed, so you're gonna rush the shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can be wide open, but mentally you're like, I have to shoot it so much. You're not settled, and that has a real impact on you. So it's the Celtics. Yeah, they weren't maybe physically in front of you, but just their presence the whole game of being so defensively menacing did, to a degree, have an impact on those shots. Now, those guys, most nights will hit those shots. And when we go to Golden State, I think we'll have maybe a better idea.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones that will be traveling. Travel kind of has a little bit of impact too. But circle that. I don't know the date of that game, but circle it, because that's going to be a very, very big game. And hopefully our guys are all healthy.
What do you think? What do you think of the Celtics on the road?
I'm very impressed. And I'm very impressed because for young guys like Tatum, Semi Ojeleye, all these young guys, the road is the hardest part for a young team. Being at home, you're comfortable, your fans are there.
Yeah, the
Arena.
you know the court, the atmosphere,
yeah,
everything.
And I feel like for any sport, correct me if hockey is not like this, but I feel like for any sport, your young guys are going to be more comfortable at home than they are on the road because they're familiar with it. It's what they know.
Even the guys that have been around the season, don't get me wrong, they know they've been around for a while, so they know the arena a little bit more than the rookies. But just all in all, as a whole, you're more comfortable at home.
Yeah, of course. Which is why a lot of these young teams in the NBA or in any sport, like the Phoenix Suns, the Lakers, any young team whose top 3 players are 20, 21 years old, they struggle on the road. 41 games are on the road in hockey and in basketball.
Yeah.
They struggle so much because all these surroundings are new. The fans are barking at you. What? And some fan bases are so much worse than others. There was a guy in Philly a few years ago who
don't get me started with Bruins fans.
Oh man, there was some guy in Philly a few years ago, this really fat guy who lifted his shirt and was distracting players by jiggling or something. if you're like 19, what is that? Like it throws you off a little bit. It's like
some
like,
of it's
what
too
is
much.
this?
Some of it's too much.
Some of it is, and college, and sometimes in college they're crazy too. So some of these guys should be
college
used to
is on a different level.
Yeah,
if you're from like US, like USC or Clemson or whatever, football's like they're everything.
It is, but it just so a lot of these guys. So to see Jason Tatum perform the way he has in these environments, I think is also a big testament to the coach. I think it's a big testament to Kyrie. And just real quick before we change topics, I want to discuss my love affair with Al Horford, because that man is. I wrote an article that says Al Horford is the MVP of the Celtics, and Al Horford is absolutely the MVP of the Celtics. When he was out a few games, I don't know if to the casual fan if they understood really what was happening, but when Al Horford is out that 1 to 2 games, that offense looked so different because he's the guy who makes the passes. He's the guy who sees everything. It kind of facilitates through him. So if he's not there, it looks really different. He's the guy that the Celtics really need to keep healthy. Him and Kyrie obviously, but he's their steady. I think the oldest guy on the team. He's like that veteran steady guy who won't get flapped or unflappable type of guy.
He's like the balance of your team.
Exactly. So, you need to make sure that everything. If these young kids need anything, Kyrie is there. Al Horford is there. And I think that's a huge help for guys who are, trying to figure out how to win on the road, trying to figure out.
They're doing pretty well so far.
Season. Yeah. I hope they continue it. Great first 17 games for the Celtics.
I think they're gonna be fine throughout the season. I don't doubt they won't be in the playoffs at all. I think they should be I think they'll be in the playoffs, 100%. I know it's only November, but that's my prediction, and I'm staying with it. I am staying with it. All right, so let's move on. That was a lot of NBA talk, and I love it. I love it. Boston Bruins.
Let's do it.
So record right now is 8 wins, 7 losses, and they've played 19 games so far this season. So they've recently been on the road for the past week. Saturday night they played San Jose, which was a 2-1 victory. And then the night before was not the night before. Thursday night was LA Kings, and they also won that game. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of rookies making goals, impressing me a lot. You still got your top veterans players that are been around for a while, like Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, and so on and so forth. But you got Pasternak's young, but he's been with the Bruins a little bit more. He hasn't been bouncing up and down, but I think Pasternak is. I don't know if you would say he's still a rookie. I think he's been around for the past 2 seasons. So, but he's the one that's the top goal scorer right now. Has 10 goals. But what's impressing me is these Dayton Hennon. He's got 4 goals already this season. Charlie McAvoy, even though he's a defenseman player. He's got 2 goals this season. Jake DeBrusk, 4 goals. Andre Bjork is 3 goals. It's I don't know what Bruce Cassidy's doing, but these guys are working, playing pretty well as rookies, being bounced up and down from Providence to the Boston Bruins. San Jose, that was a great game. It was scary close. And also, backup goalie Anton Khudobin's been playing a little bit more on the road. So they've been in the West Coast for the past week, so it's been rough. They've I think before winning to LA. They had a 4-game losing streak, which is pretty rough. But it's still a building team. You got like what's it? It's the first full season of Bruce Cassidy's head coach being a head coach. So I think they're doing pretty decent so far this season. I know they're not up there. Tampa Bay is the number 1 team in the NHL league right now, and they're playing unbelievable. I'm so happy that Steven Stamkos is back and healthy. I don't know if it was last season or the season before. He had like a little bit of health situation going on. I know during one of the playoffs he had a blood clot situation, and it was hearing blood clot. It's scary to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad he's back and healthy, and I think he's also the top NHL player in stats. Yep, right here. Steven Stamkos, 20 games played, 10 goal. It doesn't say how many goals. Games played. So he's doing unbelievable.
I mean, he's
so
always
seven goals so far this season. That's pretty good.
He's always been like an unbelievable hockey player.
Yes.
Like, he's always been like that guy. As far as the Bruins go, this is I mean, you have Chara and Bergeron, and you have some veterans, but this is a young team. So
it's a very young team.
We should absolutely expect the ups and downs, and we should absolutely expect Bruce Cassidy to try to work through them.
I'll be honest, they're like it always sucks to lose. Like there's losing stinks.
Yeah.
But that's how you improve. And to be honest, I think this team's doing pretty well as a young team and building chemistry and working with each other, even with Zdeno Chara and Patrice Bergeron. And I would say Pasternak's not as much of a rookie as he was in the first 2 seasons.
No, he's
been around for a while.
Young player at this point. I wouldn't. Calling him a veteran is a little much because he's only in third season.
I don't think I said. Did I say veteran?
No, but
okay.
like he's not a rookie, but he's still a young guy.
He's young. He's young.
It out too.
He's
so he's gonna make some mistakes.
And he just signed an 8-year contract,
yeah.
and that plays a big part for the future Boston Bruins. And
yeah, they locked him up, which is great. But I know a lot of people, even myself included, were like, all right, you need to sign this guy, and if you don't, and
it took a while to do it, but
that's what was stressing everybody out. I was like, why is this taking so long? But thankfully they did it, because if he had gone somewhere else,
it would have been
a blow.
It would have been like an interesting season.
Oh my goodness, I think the fan base would have like exploded if you let this guy walk, because your rebuild is
Cam Neely, and who's the GM? Don Sweeney would have had a mouthful.
Oh yeah.
Would have had a mouthful.
Like, I just don't know how you recover from that. He's the guy you need to build around, and you let him walk. Oh, thank God they didn't. But wow.
It would have been. It would have been a shit show.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Awful.
I don't have much to discuss around the NHL other than Tampa Bay's up there. No, it's crazy that one of the talented players is not even ranked the top 10 high stats so far this season. It's still November, but it's shocking me, and I don't know why. I haven't watched a Pittsburgh game yet. Is Sidney Crosby? He is not even ranked the top 20. He is around. That's the team stats. Let me go to the player stats. And it's sad. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I think he's ranked like 40 or 50 something.
Oh wow!
And it's crazy. I know Steven Stamkos is up there. So like a lot of plays you don't like. Connor McDavid's number 6 right now, which you expect to be 1 or 2, but like these players that just like all of a sudden like Jamie Benn and is 19 just fell off a cliff. Like we said about what's his name? Is it Matt Ryan?
Oh, like fell off a cliff?
Fell off.
Oh,
yeah.
Totally.
It's just crazy. Like I think it was 2 years ago. Dallas Stars were like
really good.
Yeah.
And then it's just like nothing since then.
Yeah, exactly. Even the Chicago Blackhawks are kind of like dashing down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And what's impressing me is the Las Vegas Knights.
Really?
Yeah, they've done pretty well. The first 2 months of the season, they're looking pretty good. And
I mean, I'd expect that to even out as the season goes.
Yeah,
but that's great for them that they've started pretty well.
They've started pretty well. I think that the top new organization that had the most wins last was probably the Washington Capitals. I think had the most winning streaks as a new organization. But yeah. I like what Bruce Cassidy is doing so far, and hopefully, and I like how Anton Khudobin's getting a little bit more playing time. I know Tuukka Rask is playing a little bit more, but the stats are not totally off on as games played wide.
So I guess my question for you is, if Khudobin continues to play well, could you see Rask being dealt somewhere? So they have that young, they can like really start rebuilding with like a young goalie, a young star.
If Anton Khudobin keeps this up, I wouldn't doubt that he would start and then give Tuukka Rask a break. But I think Tuukka Rask and Anton Khudobin are like they're both starting goalies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're switching it off. Like Anton Khudobin's not the backup goalie. I think he helps Tuukka Rask rest.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of years ago where Tuukka Rask played a bit much games that he shouldn't have played. He should have been resting quite few of those games. But looking at the stats here, Anton Khudobin has 5 wins. Tuukka Rask has 3. But Tuukka Rask has been in the goal 12 games. Anton Khudobin's been playing 8 so far.
Oh, wow.
So it's not too far off, but it kind of shows a little bit of who's doing a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how this is something to keep an eye on, I think, as the Bruins season keeps going.
Yeah.
You keep an eye on the young guys and stuff, but I think the goalie situation is definitely something to watch.
It is. And I don't know. Like I said, I still haven't looked at what Tuukka Rask's contract situation is, but I wouldn't mind seeing something coming around.
I think he has a few years left. I'm not really sure.
I think so too, but
if you can trade the guy for like some draft picks,
you could
and keep building that way. It's not the worst way to go. I mean, he's a great goalie, but maybe sometimes it's time to just move on.
Yeah, like sometimes you just don't have it in you with the team anymore. Maybe it's time for time for change.
Yeah, like maybe he needs a more veteran team to go to, and then you can give Khudobin those starts and let him grow and become a better goalie, and that's really going to help and grow with like Pastrnak and DeBrusk and all these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So Bruins will be home Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. They're playing New Jersey, and then Black Friday, which is I won tickets to, and I'm pretty excited. Good seats. They'll be playing the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, very nice.
And that would be that's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, always a tough player, but like the stats are showing that he's pretty quiet, but that doesn't change anything. It's a tough organization. They're the recent Stanley Cup champions. So praying that's a good game and it's a win for us. But right now we're moving on to New Jersey, and New Jersey's actually not doing bad actually.
Yeah,
They're doing pretty well.
one game at a time.
Yeah,
One game at a time, and then we'll see where these guys end up.
exactly. Like Bill Belichick says, we're on to New Jersey.
There
we're
you
on
go.
to whatever.
Whoever.
So
Speaking of Bill Belichick, Patriots played last night. If you missed it, you didn't miss that much. Mexico City,
it looks like the schedule is pretty easy until December.
they spanked the Oakland Raiders. I was expecting a better game. Ooh, I thought Oakland was better than they are.
Oakland's been up and down. I'll be
I feel
honest.
like because they had a really solid season last year. Then they came into the season being like, all right, we can challenge, and then it's like they fell off a cliff too.
I feel like Marshawn Lynch is not himself ever since he came back into the NFL.
Yeah, he's different. He's not that guy.
He's not. He was different on the Seattle Seahawks. It's like I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Maybe
it's the offensive line. I don't know.
I don't know. But what's not it's still a little worrying for me, but not as much as the beginning of the season is the defense.
Yeah.
The defense are impressing me each week.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the schedule has been easy for the past couple of weeks. But I think the next tough team they're playing is Pittsburgh, which is in December. And what are they playing next week? Miami? They're playing Miami Dolphins next week.
Yeah, and then they have Buffalo. They're in Buffalo after. But you know what? Playing in Buffalo is still pretty tough.
Their fans are rowdy.
Their fans are crazy.
They're rowdy and they're crazy. They're on a different level.
So playing there, maybe the team isn't great, but that environment is hard to play in. They're loud. They hate Tom Brady. They hate the Patriots. They're loud.
They're obnoxious.
So I hate it when the Patriots play up there because it's just so ridiculous.
They're I don't know what it is about them, but they're just absurd.
Yeah. That game, are they in Miami next week? Or are they? No, they're home. When they play in Miami, I think it's to end the season. That's one to watch for because they have problems in Miami all the time. They may win, but it's always a closer game than it should be.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember but yeah. No was really last week when they played Denver, it's always tough in Denver too.
Yeah, and then they spanked Denver.
For some reason they spanked them.
I mean, Denver defensively is whatever. Their offense is a mess.
Yeah.
It's just you have who was it? Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Really good, but other than him, no one really made an impact that I can really recall.
No.
So, I don't know. The Chiefs lost last night. They've lost 5 of their last 6 or 4 of their last 5, something like that. Kansas City. They lost to the Giants. Yikes.
Yeah, an OT.
Yeah.
That was
I watched that and I was like, ugh.
And the Giants finally won a game.
The Giants won their second game of the year.
I feel bad for the Giants. Oh.
You see their head coach with the sunglasses and the slick back hair, looking like a mafia man on the sideline.
Football
Jeez,
guy.
Bro.
Football guy there.
But yeah, it was the ugliest game. I caught the tail end of it. It was such an ugly game for both sides. The Chiefs threw 2 or 3 interceptions in the last 2 minutes of that game. Ugly. And then they had Travis Kelce. They did the thing where Alex Smith will throw to Travis Kelce and then Kelce will be back here to throw it to the receiver downfield.
Yeah.
And he did that and he got picked off. And they tried to get really cute in the last few minutes of a really tight game when they shouldn't have. They did just trick plays are great, but maybe in the first half they're a little better idea than when the game is on the line,
What's Kansas? I thought after the Patriots losing to Kansas City, and just looking at the highlights of Kansas City, I thought that they just seemed a threat. But no one's perfect in the season.
No.
And to be honest, I think Kansas City is going to go a tad bit downhill for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I can see that. And to be fair, they have had their fair share of injuries.
They did.
They have had some injuries. Alex Smith, I think, is slowly coming back down to who he really is, which
Normal,
he has a ceiling.
like
and
Matt Ryan,
yeah,
normal.
normal. Yeah,
And Cam Newton,
yeah,
normal.
Normal, all right? He's not some superhuman, like, all right?
Russell Wilson, normal.
Yeah, normal. I think this is his last year in Kansas City. I think Patrick Mahomes is taking over next year. I think the organization has, made it kind of clear that's where they want to go. They want to go younger. But no, it's an Andy Reid coach team, and for some reason that guy can just something in the last few minutes of the game always just goes wrong for him. I don't know if it's he's not coaching properly or what it is. It's either he calls a bad timeout or they have poor clock management, or it's just something is just never right at the end of games when Andy Reid is coaching teams. It's a little ridiculous. But what stinks about this Patriots team is that Dante Hightower's out for the year.
I know, I saw that.
Which means more. What is it, David Harris?
He's doing pretty well. He's doing decent.
He is. I mean, he's a run stopper. That's what he does. He's just older, which is the only difference, really.
Well, he did pretty good in that Denver game, I think.
He did. Landon Roberts is still there. So you do have guys. Stephon Gilmore, to me, hasn't lived up remotely close to what they signed him for. That dude, to me, needs to prove to be better than what he's been. He had an okay game yesterday. He had a pretty good game.
Gronk was quiet last night.
He had some catches.
But he was quiet. No, it was normal quiet, to be honest. Like compared to in the past, but
I think he had their first touchdown. No, Deion Lewis had the first touchdown. He's been also great game from him. No Mike Gillislee last night. He was a scratch.
Cooks
was the guy who had the game last night. He had that not breakout because he's been so good all year, but like he had Tom Brady threw two just ridiculously long passes. I think one was 40, 50 yards. The other one was like 62, 63 yards.
Yeah.
And he's so fast. Oh my.
Did you see that field goal before the half?
Steven Gostowski, 62 yards. Oh man,
it looked longer than 62 though.
I know, but he's been criticized so much. That is like the perfect way to like shut everybody up is to nail that thing. And it didn't even look like it wasn't gonna hit. It looked like straight down.
Oh yeah, I like once it was up in the air. I didn't like it's tough to see wind on the television.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't see that move. I didn't see that ball move even a slight inch.
No way.
I didn't like it. It was
unreal.
It was great. It was a great. It was a great to the end the half.
Someone on my Twitter had said once, "You guys are gonna miss Gostowski when he's gone because, he's having a. Let's say he had missed a few field goals at the beginning of the season, and they were like, he's done. Like sign someone else. Blah blah blah, but." Look around the league. He's still the best kicker in the league. Cowboys lost theirs. Dan Bailey's done. I don't know if it's for the year. It might be for the year. Gostowski is just so good.
I personally think it doesn't matter what kicker we get. If Bill Belichick's the head coach, I don't know.
But he can't make those kicks for you though. Like
Adam Vinatieri was very, very good when we had him.
But he's still very good in Indy too. Like that dude was just one of the all-time kickers.
He's a great kicker.
Yeah,
and he's still around.
And the thing about kicking though is most of it. I think kicking is the most mental part of football. Like you have quarterbacks and stuff, but like I think as a kicker, you're so much more in your own head.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss. Exactly. It's a hit or miss.
It's only you.
Yeah.
Especially if the game is on the line. That's hard. That's a lot of pressure to deal with. So, to have a guy who can bounce back and hit such a big field goal. Yeah, it's the first half, but such a long field goal. that's great news for the Patriots and for the fan base that he still got it. He was like behind the logo. It was, oh my
62.
goodness, that was unreal.
62 yards. Wow.
Unreal, man. That guy. I'm glad he's coming back on track.
What do you think of the defense? I know I said they've slightly impressed me a little bit, but compared to the first month though.
Oh no, I mean they're so much better than they were, but I still think they have some ways to go. I think they had a blown coverage yesterday. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong, but there are times where they blow coverages. The communication has gotten better. I think it just has to get better. That's, I think, the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
But they've been pretty good about, like, not drawing flags as much, and just the little things. And, Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick are too smart to have let this defense still be awful like it was that first game. And you knew it wasn't going to be as bad as it was in Kansas City, But they do still have some ways to go. Like, I think they can always be better than what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. They always can improve. I was always worried with Matt Patricia, like each game, like, I don't know, even with, I don't know why, but last night's game was a joke, but I don't know why it seemed like the defense just seems so bad this season compared to the past season, but to be honest, last season's a blur to me. Except for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, wow. When I think about it, yeah. I'm actually kind of
To be honest, if you think about it, it's just a blur because all you can think about is that Super Bowl comeback.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a long season.
It is.
It's 16 games, but it's long. So to remember everything is that I don't even remember the opening game.
But
I don't even know where they were.
No, it's weird though. I can remember a Bruins game better than last season's Patriots game.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know
with the Celtics. It's weird.
The Bruins and Celtics are way longer than football.
I just think it's maybe we're more tuned into those.
I believe
because we're so used to the Patriots just doing their thing that you pay more attention to the other two.
Well, you just expected the Patriots to win.
Exactly, that's the thing. But
it's.
So you kind of it's like you're watching it, but you're also kind of maybe not fully engaged just because all right, I'm watching Tom Brady, but I know what they're going to do. I know what to expect. Whereas if you're watching Bruins or Celtics and Celtics run off this 15-game win streak, you're like, wow, you're really engaged because this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on, kid?
Exactly. So it's if I can in my head right now recall certain plays that Kyrie Irving has done or Al Horford has done in the past few weeks. The Patriots are just I just kind of expect them to do their thing. And
absolutely,
if it means I'm maybe half distracted when I'm watching the game, that's what it is. If you're up 17-0, I'm not as likely to pay attention as it's just different.
I know those games. I don't know why I love seeing the Patriots win, but those games are just so boring.
They're boring because you just expect them to do what they're supposed to. It's like the San Antonio Spurs is. All right, the regular season's cool, but we expect you to be 1 or 2 in the West, and we know what you can do, and we get it. It's it's come to that point where it's just for us, it's just all right, regular season, cool, but give me the playoffs. And then we'll talk.
The playoffs are different.
Yeah, which I expect, maybe that's what Golden State feels like. All right, regular season, blah, 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 let's get to the playoffs. That's what we've become.
It's just that I think it's the technology that's distracting us. If I didn't have internet, Facebook, whatever, I'd be engaged to the TV.
I would be, and I do try to engage because Tom Brady's 40 years old, so you kind of want to watch every second of him.
Yeah, he's only got a couple of years left.
Exactly. Even though he's going to probably try to play till he's 50. Let's be real. He's going to play as much as he can.
Is he going to be Gordie Howe?
He's going to try. Some Yager He's gonna try to be the
Yager.
Yager of football.
Yeah,
But what scared me last night is he got hit in the knees last night and twisted around. But I think it was Khalil Mack. And that scared me because Tom Brady getting hit in the knees always just scares me, no matter what. So they really need to try to protect him better.
Something that just doesn't look right after a tackle, like, it's nerve wracking.
And it's so nerve wracking, and especially with him because he's 40 years old. Like, every time he gets hit, I hold my breath. And it's the same thing with Gronkowski. Every time he gets hit, until I see him bounce up, I'm like, is he okay? Just because of his history.
If you think about it, his diet is very restricted. So
Tom's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what everyone else's like quarterback or whatever, but if his diet is restricted, he has probably more of a healthier bone and muscle structure than I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would have a strict diet, or Derek Carr would have a strict diet, or Cam Newton would have a strict diet. But I could be wrong because I don't follow those guys as much as Tom Brady.
I think those guys have strict diets. I just don't. No one's diet is as crazy as Tom Brady's diet.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like his bones are a little slighter, healthier and stronger,
flexible. His muscles might be more flexible.
I'm not an anatomy expert, but just going by like seeing how he's a healthy guy and whatever, he's strict to a lot of things. It just seems like he to him it's not as nerve-wracking as the rest.
Yeah, I think we're more nervous than he is.
Absolutely, because he knows.
Fans,
you know your body.
Yeah.
Like I know my body. You know your body.
Exactly.
So, like, if I'm in pain, I know I'm in pain. If I'm not in pain, if you think like.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely more chill about it, I think, than we are.
Oh, absolutely. Because we're just watching a TV screen.
Exactly.
We don't know how he's feeling, but like you could just go, ooh.
Yeah, and I would, if they're in a good spot at the end of the season, say they're, they've won all the rest of their games, they're 13-2, and they have one game left. I would sit him, and I know like he would hate that, but I would just throw Brian Hoyer in for the whole game.
He's very antsy.
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he would want to play like the first half. But I would put Hoyer in and be like, go. And it doesn't even matter if you win this or not. Unless you're in a really tight race for like home field advantage in the AFC.
Yeah.
Like say Pittsburgh is right there. I get it. Like put Tom Brady in, have him run up a bunch of points. And then you can put Hoyer in. But if you're not in that situation and you have like a cushion.
Yeah.
Just put the backup in. Don't even risk it. It's really not worth playing against an AFC East team, putting your starting quarterback in. It's really not worth it at all.
No, I would just put a couple of points on the board and then just sit them out.
Yeah, it's not worth.
But before moving on, what do you think of Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded? Since we last talked, I think he's still on the team.
Oh, man. Okay, so.
I'm glad he gets playing time.
Yeah.
But it just stinks that we don't have him.
So.
It always stinks when you don't have
I mean, he was the future of this team. Let's be 100% here. Bill Belichick loved Jimmy Garoppolo. Bill Belichick every single week would take time out of his schedule to sit with Garoppolo and go over all the plays. How busy is that man that he was going to take time out of his schedule?
I don't mean to get sidetracked, but when I was listening to Julian Edelman. He was a guest on a show, and he said that he would be, I don't know, either in the cool tub or the hot tub, and he would just, I think he would hear like a TV going or film going. It'd be Bill Belichick at 11 o'clock at night, sitting watching film.
The dude's unreal.
Oh yeah, and I guess he was trying to just quietly exit I forget what Julian Edelman said to him, but it's just crazy how you hear something like that, You think these coaches would punch out at like 7 or 8 or even 5 or something?
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
They're bad at their jobs.
But when you hear Bill Belichick at 11 o'clock at night watching film, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I know that Brad Stevens, I don't know if Brad Stevens exactly does that. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. But Brad Stevens just watches tons of basketball. Like, he'll just sit and just watch, and then he'll see, what any good coach would do is, hey, what are they running? Should I run this? How does this work in my scheme? Like,
Yeah.
it's, as a coach, I don't think you can watch enough of your sport, because how are you going to adapt and learn and be better if you don't watch what everyone else is doing and kind of see
Absolutely,
what's going
yeah.
on? That's what makes some of these guys so good at their jobs, is they're always on the ball. They're always paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as Garoppolo, we were at the Celtics game when
Yeah,
Jimmy
no, it
Garoppolo got
tweet.
traded.
Yeah, I got a tweet.
We were at, interestingly enough, the Spurs game, Celtics Spurs, and Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded, and I'm on my Twitter and I looked at him and I was like, they just traded Jimmy Garoppolo, and I couldn't believe it because the flashes I had seen from him, he was really good.
He got traded to the 49ers.
I'm just happy it wasn't Cleveland, because I hate the Cleveland Browns.
Well, you were predicting during the draft season that you thought my boy from Clemson, Deshaun Watson was going to be in Cleveland. I am going to punch a wall if he gets into Cleveland, because Cleveland does not keep their quarterbacks. Cleveland does not keep their quarterbacks. Period.
I'm surprised Deshaun Watson fell as far as he did in that draft. Like, I would have thought he would have gone
what
sooner,
was he, like 6 or 7 or
whatever it was? Like,
whatever it was. I don't remember.
I know Chicago took Trubisky, but like I would have thought they would have taken Watson, just because from what we've seen from him, like he was just so good.
And guess what? He's injured.
Oh my god. Poor guy.
Just like Griffin, just like everyone else, he's injured.
The mobile quarterbacks, you have got to be careful. Got to be. And I know it happened in practice or whatever, but you're running more, your ACLs are taking more strain than Peyton Manning's did, than Tom Brady's do, because those are just, they just stay in the pocket. You're running more, your ACLs are going to get more wear and tear. It happens.
It does. There's been a ton of injuries throughout the sport.
Oh my goodness.
The sports.
The
It's just
Edelman
crazy.
injury, but in the NBA has had some freak
Edelman's been
injuries,
doing pretty
the
good for
NFL
himself during the offseason. He's been traveling, going on shows, and
He's fine.
he's he's enjoying it, I think.
I think we're all really excited next season for him to come back.
Oh, absolutely.
I
think Bill Belichick should just not even dress him in the preseason.
No, I think if I was the Patriots, maybe you put him in for like one preseason game, like the first one, for a few plays, just to get him in a rhythm.
Just to feel him out, just to get him going. Yeah.
Because you kind of have to. He needs to get back into like that game rhythm. But my goodness, am I gonna keep him out for the last 2 preseason games? This happened in the 3rd preseason game.
3rd, yeah, exactly.
Which he shouldn't have even been playing in, but whatever.
No,
I'd be so careful.
I
with
was
him.
legit almost out the door to go. Like, this was in the summer, so like on a Friday or Saturday night, I was almost out the door to go, to the bar, and like all of a sudden I see Julian Edelman on the ground. I was like, "What's going on? What's going?" And then I was like, "I gotta go." Like, I had to leave. So 10 minutes later, Twitter, ESPN news, it was awful.
Worse. And when I saw that replay, if you've seen enough sports injuries, you kind of know when you see a replay what it is.
Yeah.
And when I saw the replay and I saw how his knee buckled, I was like, he tore an ACL. He tore something.
Tearing an ACL is the worst.
It's awful, and thankfully I've never done it. But
I've had worse. I've had worse, but it is pretty bad.
It's bad, and you hope he can. I'm sure he will bounce back. Great. When he makes his cuts, though, I think he's going to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
Just like when Gordon Hayward makes cuts in basketball, he might be a little more, mentally aware of what he's doing. And I don't expect that guy to go up for an alley-oop anytime soon after he gets back on the court.
And I don't think Julian Edelman will be in every single play each game as much as he was previously.
I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a guy, kind of like in his build, in his height,
So like, go back and forth.
to try to ease the pressure off Julian so he's not in every play.
No, I get what you're saying. So like I'm trying to like explain it in dumb terms, not dumb terms, but easy terms. Like say you have a David Ortiz designated hitter, and then a runner, like.
Well, yeah. So
Like, you know what I mean, going back and forth a little bit.
yeah, of course. So that
Designated runner, I don't know what they're called.
yeah, the runner, pinch runner.
Pinch runner, I
runner?
don't know.
But yeah. So
we gotta step up our baseball technology
Oh,
and baseball
man.
stuff.
But yeah, just so that Edelman is not there every single play. So that there's someone else, so that he doesn't have as many snaps to worry about.
Absolutely.
So there's not as much pressure on his legs and the rest of him.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. You know, maybe that's something they do, maybe it's not. But I
Time
feel
will
like
tell.
it's a
Maybe
smart way
his
to go
maybe
about it.
his ACL will heal better than it should. I don't know. Who knows? Every body's different.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So before we sign off, I got two things. One is I gave you a little quiz, which is I thought was an awesome idea.
Awesome.
And I came up with questions, and like for some reason I just remember all of these Friends Thanksgiving episodes. So I got questions, and let's see if you answer them right. And then I'll ask you what is your Thanksgiving tradition, and I'll share mine. So this quiz is for you, not for me, because I already know the answers. You probably do too. But so question 1. And this is all Friends. All right. So here we go. And all Thanksgiving related. What does Chandler have to do in order for Joey to forgive him?
Is it him? He has to sit in the box
Yes.
and not talk.
And not talk. Absolutely. Yep. You're right. All right. So you're 1 for 1. All right. Question number 2. What is the dessert that Rachel messes up?
It's the layered dip thing where it's like there are lady fingers and then there's like peas and onions and sautéed beef and everyone.
You got all the ingredients right that she puts in it,
I
but
forget what it's called.
what's begins with a T?
It's a truffle.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Ross says it tastes like feet, and Joey's loving it.
He goes, I love it.
What's not to love about it?
Custard good, jam good, peas good, meat good.
And Ross is just like horrified
Tastes
by
like
the whole
feet.
thing.
I like it. All right. Question 3. Where does Joey and Ross go and Rachel and Phoebe go before Thanksgiving dinner? This is later seasons when Emma was born.
Oh, God. I don't know if I know this one. I don't know if I've seen this one.
All right, I'll give you a hint. So Joey and Ross go to a sporting event. Rachel and Phoebe go to a blank for Emma. This is the episode when Chandler makes the cranberry sauce. Monica didn't want to make Thanksgiving dinner in the first place.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. I have no idea, truthfully.
All right, so Joey and Ross go to a New York Rangers game, and Rachel and Phoebe go to a beauty pageant that Emma enters in and wins.
I don't know if I've seen
And
them.
Chandler and Monica get mad because they prepared this delicious Thanksgiving dinner, and they're not there on time. Question 4. That one's pretty tough. I don't know why I got that, but that one was pretty tough. I just remember that on the top of my head. All right. Joey not only forgets to go to the Thanksgiving Day parade as part of his job. But what else is he supposed to be doing? Supposed to do? This is another tough one.
I literally don't know if I've seen this episode. Thanksgiving parade is part of his job.
Phoebe tells him to come up with a lie, and then he can't lie because he always looks at the floor and says, raccoon, like.
Oh yeah, I do.
And then he writes that he's supposed to go to the parade, and then on one arm, and the other arm he writes something else that he's supposed to do. Pick up grandma at the airport.
Ah, Joey. Oh my god.
All right, this one's pretty easy.
Okay.
Which actor was the character that used to be fat and Ross's friend and joins them for Thanksgiving dinner and also hates Rachel?
Brad Pitt.
Yes, you're right.
What is that? The I Hate Rachel Club?
Yep.
With Ross, and then Ross
Yep.
is like, "Oh, awkward. I dated her. Hey."
And they have a baby together.
It's so
Wait,
weird.
he got her pregnant.
Mhm.
He got her pregnant? Dude, high five.
Like, what? Oh man.
What sport do Joey, Chandler, Ross, Monica, Rachel, and Phoebe play on one of the early season on Thanksgiving episode?
They play football, and Monica and Ross go insane, like competitive against each other, because they're siblings, and it's kind of a wild episode because Joey's like hitting on this woman.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say bonus. What do Chandler and Joey fight over?
yeah, him and Chandler are trying to like woo this woman, and I don't even know if she picks any of them. I think she
She
leaves.
doesn't.
Yeah, she's just like bye. It's just so wild.
And then Phoebe flashes the guys.
Yeah, I think that is my favorite Thanksgiving episode, honestly, for Friends. Like, that is such a good one.
I like the one when Rachel's sister goes, "What if you die and I get your baby?" What?
Her sisters are pieces of work, man. Oh man.
I forget which one it is. Jill's Reese Witherspoon, right?
Mhm.
The other one, she's from Anchorman.
Yeah, she's also in
she's-
something else.
She's in a lot of stuff, but I only recognize her from Anchorman for some reason.
Yeah, she's definitely in something else. I know that much.
Yeah. What can't Ross have until he gets all 50 states down?
Mm.
You don't remember this episode?
I don't remember this episode.
Chandler has a game that they have to name all 50 states
Mhm.
in like a number of minutes, but instead Ross wants to try to figure out all the states because he thinks it's easy. Wants all the states to get down, and he won't have such and such until he gets them down.
Turkey stuffing.
Yep, turkey.
Mm.
Turkey dinner. And Joey gets 56 states.
What?
Joey, how many states do you have? 56.
Oh my god.
He names all the New England areas.
Oh my god. Ugh, ugh.
All right. What does Monica put on her head to cheer Chandler up?
A turkey
Yes.
and sunglasses on the turkey, and then Chandler says, "I love you," and he's like, "What? I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I said nothing."
All right, I skipped number 6 for some reason. What does Chandler break that is part of his and Monica's wedding gift? This is the episode where Rachel's sister says, "Can I have your baby if you die?"
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Is it a gravy boat?
Nope.
No.
I'll give you a hint. It's an item you don't really use often, and most of the time they're in like china cabinets. And I kind of gave the answer away.
They're wedding china.
Yep.
Oh, God, Chandler.
So I did that one. I did that. All right. So last one. What does Joey change into so he can finish eating an entire turkey?
Oh, God.
Phoebe's blank.
Phoebe's something?
Phoebe gave these blank to Rachel while Rachel was pregnant.
Some type of maternity shirt.
Not shirt.
Pants?
Fraternity pants, yep. Remember?
Really? Was
Yeah.
it the Santa pants?
Not the Santa pants, but they
Those are
were
good.
they looked like giant black yoga pants.
Oh man.
And Joey comes back, he goes, I can't finish the turkey with these jeans. The jeans has no give. So he walks in, he goes, and he goes, all right, where's that turkey? He goes, Joey, those are my fraternity pants. No, these are my Thanksgiving pants.
Oh man.
And then he's like, stuff. And then he like eats the entire turkey. He goes, you can expect, and Chandler goes, you can expect a call from the president anytime now. And then Monica's cutting up. He goes, hey, what do you got there? Pie, you want some? Just a sliver. A little bigger. Oh, come on, you afraid? Cut me a real piece.
Oh man.
You did pretty good.
Thank you.
I don't know how, some of the questions I don't know how I came up with.
Yeah, man, these are good questions.
They were good
Good work.
questions. All right, so before we sign off, I want you to tell us, going a little bit overboard, that's fine. Tell us your Thanksgiving tradition, what you're doing, or what what you're gonna do this Thanksgiving, or what was your favorite Thanksgiving throughout your was it 24 years or 23? 23 years. I'm sorry.
Almost 24. We're almost there.
All right.
Wow. Well, we go to my uncle's house every year, and we just gather. It's like one of our biggest family gatherings of the year, which is awesome. One of my favorite things. Probably one of my favorite things ever. We just have a bunch of like the kids running around, and I think we do the wishbone thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, there's the football is on the TV. I don't know if anyone necessarily like sits and watches the whole thing, but it's always just on in one of the rooms.
Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
you're
we
fine.
both wore football material. Obviously we're not wearing Patriots, but we love our Patriots. Don't get us wrong. But I personally wanted to change it up. So, also share. You're obviously wearing USC, so share why you chose to wear a UFC hoodie or non-hooded sweatshirt.
My Patriots sweatshirt was dirty.
Okay.
No, so this summer I was on the USC campus because I was thinking about grad school. So I was like, man, you know what? I want to get something from here. So I have a USC football at home, a Nike USC football, and I picked up a sweatshirt because I just love college clothing.
Oh, I do too. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know USC football is like a big deal. So I was like, this is awesome. Also, update real quick note about like the Cleveland Browns and USC. USC's quarterback is literally thinking like if Cleveland gets the top pick, he will stay in school another year to avoid going to Cleveland. If that's not the funniest thing I've heard, I don't know what is.
That's just like
That's
just like
savage.
out of this world like news.
That's so funny. I can't. I heard that and I was like, you know what? Good for him though. Like dictate your career however you want to. That's hilarious.
I'm sorry I got you a little tad off topic.
No,
but
you're
if
fine.
If you wanna.
That's more or less it. I mean, just a lot of food, a lot of fun, and you know, definitely thankful that we have another Thanksgiving coming around.
Yeah, absolutely. Always thankful for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, of course. What about you?
So every year we stay here. Excuse me. This year it's gonna be a little quiet. I usually have my uncles on my mom's side of the family come over, but it's just gonna be me, my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, and I think my middle brother's coming for a little bit. He's a freelancer reporter, so I think he's gonna be working. But it's gonna be quiet. My dad cooks, and I think we're gonna. Sometimes we go to whoever's hosting. My dad's side of the family always switches every year. We'll probably make an appearance for dessert, and yeah, it's pretty mellow. Watch football, mingle, but it's definitely gonna be quiet this year. like it's not a bad thing on my part. I get to enjoy football, and obviously, I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy the holidays as much as last year as I did this year. Hopefully this year will be better, just because some personal health issues going on. But that's pretty much it. And then Black Friday, I'll be at the Bruins game, which would be exciting. So that is pretty much it. You got to, and also, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't share what I'm wearing. So obviously, I'm wearing orange. It's not Tennessee. It's not. Who else is orange?
Syracuse.
Syracuse. It's not Texas. It is Clemson. Clemson Tigers. I did visit their campus with my friend, and she went there. And ever since she became a part of the Clemson family, like I started watching them. I started following them, and they are 2016 national champions, and they're doing pretty well this season. I think they're 10-2 right now, which is very great without Deshaun Watson, and hopefully they make another run at it. Ever since I went to college, I've been a big Clemson fan, and that's why I'm wearing it. I wore the Brady jersey last night, and also behind me I have Tim Riggins. I was gonna wear that just because it was my favorite TV show, but yeah, that's why I pulled the Clemson out. I'm a big Clemson fan, and I do wish I went there. But that's my spiel of why I'm wearing orange. And that's pretty much it. So we are the C.O.C. City of the Champions podcast, and we will see you next month right before the holidays. So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the turkey. Also, if you're going out on Black Friday, be safe. Enjoy those deals. And happy Thanksgiving, folks. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the Thanksgiving weekend. I'm Danny Boylack signing off, and alongside is Talar signing off. We will see you in December. So enjoy, folks.
I'll be there for